Lieutenant Colonel Kenneth Goodman was a leading figure in the military history of Waterloo Region. Born in Grimsby, Ontario, Kenneth began studying law at age 16. He was admitted to the Law Society of Upper Canada in 1861, setting up a legal practice in New Hamburg, Ontario. With the Civil War raging in the United States and amid concern that militarization there could be a threat to Canada, Kenneth raised a volunteer militia company of 50 men while in New Hamburg. In 1866, Captain Goodman led the New Hamburg Infantry Company in active duty against the Fenians, who were Irish patriots from the United States, serving at Sarnia, St. Mary's, and Goderich. When the 29th Waterloo Battalion of Infantry was formed in 1866, Kenneth was chosen as its first commanding officer. During the next 4 years, he organized week-long battalion camps in New Hamburg and Galt, convinced the Waterloo County Council that they should both fund marksmanship prizes for the battalion and pay for a battalion band, and arranged for the Galt chapter of the International Order of the Daughters of the Empire for the donation of regimental colors. Though Kenneth left Waterloo Region in 1873 to begin a new law practice in Park Hill, Ontario, his pioneering efforts to create a county regiment have had a lasting effect.
Colonel Kenneth Goodman was our mother's great-grandfather. She remembered him fondly as a kind, gentle man, and spent summer holidays as a little girl visiting him at Port Franks near Park Hill, playing on the sandy beaches with her cousins. Mom passed away 5 years ago at the age of 100 years. My brother Murray and I decided to travel to Port Franks and Park Hill 3 years ago, visiting the Colonel's old house, which is still standing, the building where he practiced law, and his grave. We also swam at the very same beaches at Port Franks. It was a pilgrimage to honor both our mother and the Colonel. Kenneth Goodman was highly admired by his family, not only for his military achievements, but as a man who was a sage, who offered kind advice and support. His nephew, A.E. Goodman, who wrote a book on the Goodman family, states that Kenneth wrote a note to him once, which simply states, "The main thing to remember is to try to be gentlemen in our lives, going about doing good."
While other county militia battalions have disappeared, the Waterloo Battalion remains today as the Royal Highland Fusiliers of Canada, an infantry regiment of 31 Canadian Brigade Group Canadian Armed Forces. The firm footing for such an enterprise was due to the foresight, organization, and perseverance of Kenneth Goodman. His choice of the regiment's motto remains in effect today: defense, not defiance. Congratulations, Kenneth Goodman.
Greetings to all distinguished guests, family descendants of Lieutenant Colonel Kenneth Goodman, and regimental family members of the Royal Highland Fusiliers of Canada. I'm Lieutenant Colonel Steve Coe, Commanding Officer of the Fusiliers. It is indeed my honor and privilege today to be here for the Waterloo Region Hall of Fame induction class of 2021, honoring the legacy of Lieutenant Colonel Kenneth Goodman, the first commanding officer of the 29th Waterloo Battalion of Infantry in 1866. I want to personally thank Dr. Len Kirshen on behalf of the entire all ranks of the regiment and regimental council for his efforts in putting forth the research and nomination. Colonel Goodman's induction today brings great recognition to the legacy of the man who first commanded the regiment. Our history is directly linked to the efforts of Colonel Goodman, which has seen the unit shift and evolve since Canada's Confederation, to be perpetuated to a strong infantry and mortar task reserve unit for the Canadian Armed Forces today. Our headquarters and companies are firmly embedded in the region of Waterloo. His desire to defend our growing nation against the Fenians demonstrated solid tenacity and strength of character with the profession of arms. His ability to raise a company of citizen soldiers in New Hamburg from the surrounding community is worthy of induction, and I can only imagine the difficulty at the time to get able fighting men in the county to do so. His leadership and command presence enabled this company to flourish. He had great foresight and spirit of volunteerism. It resonates today with our reservists, and it truly is the epitome of the perfect militiaman, a practicing lawyer by day, and when called upon, a militia lieutenant colonel when called out for training and other tasks at night. Kenneth's command presence is always around us. In our officers' mess, we draw strength from those who served before us, and his photo hangs predominantly within our mess. He also has an amazing beard, which is the envy of many of my young officers. Many county regiments have folded over as time has evolved and communities developed. Yet the Waterloo County Regiment is truly unique in Canada's history, and has survived over time and through several amalgamations has become the Royal Highland Fusiliers of Canada today. Our regimental motto, Defense Not Defiance, was created by Colonel Goodman, and it remains today as a reminder of why we all serve this great country of Canada. He was a true community leader. Kenneth made connections with the Waterloo County Council and was able to obtain the regiment's first colors, and this demonstrated that we were here to stay. We're honored and humbled with Colonel Goodman's induction into the Waterloo Region Hall of Fame, and it marks a great significance to the regiment as it solidifies the relationship we have with the region of Waterloo. On behalf of the regiment, we graciously accept this nomination of Colonel Kenneth Goodman's induction into the Region of Waterloo Hall of Fame. Defense, not defiance.